There is a divine technique whispered amongst the gods of the multiverse. This technique is the result of breaking one's limitations, unlocking the vast potential hidden within as they become a being of pure power. This technique is known as Ultra Instinct. Initially known exclusively to the angels of the multiverse, only a few gods of destruction know how to utilize this ability. Even fewer mortals across the multiverse know about this technique, let alone access it. One of these mortals was a martial artist from Universe 7 known as Son Goku. After a lifetime of intense battles and shattering his limits, Goku was able to ascend beyond the realm of gods and obtain this ultimate form. However, what if he broke through godhood earlier? What if Goku was able to go beyond his mortal limits and achieve enlightenment earlier in life? How would this event ripple across space and time? The course is set for history to change forever. The road to enlightenment begins. What if Goku unlocked Ultra Instinct early?
Let's get those punches flying!
It is age 750. At only 13 years old, the boy known as Son Goku had entered the 21st Tenkaichi Budokai, also known as the strongest under the heavens tournament. Fighters from across the world would gather in order to challenge each other in a tournament to determine who was the greatest fighter in the world. Goku loved the idea of this tournament and had been preparing for it for over a year through his training with his rival, Krillin, and master, the invincible turtle hermit known as Roshi. Despite all his training, however, Goku had lost against the incredibly skilled and powerful martial artist known as Jackie Chun. Despite Goku's best efforts, he was unable to defeat the elderly master. Throughout the battle, Jackie Chun unleashed many bizarre and effective techniques, ranging from the Sleepy Boy technique to the Electric Shock Surprise. However, one of the most bizarre techniques Jackie Chun used was the Drunken Fist, a technique which mimicked the movements of a drunk person. Goku didn't know that. All he knew was that this was a cool technique his deceased grandpa, Son Gohan, used to know. After the climactic final match between Goku and Jackie Chun, the announcer declared Jackie the winner of the tournament. Jackie Chun left the arena as Goku and Krillin went up to congratulate the mysterious fighter on his well-earned victory. Jackie Chun thanks the boys for their kind words and walks away, waving goodbye as he leaves. This is where our story begins to change. It's a small change, so small that it doesn't even seem to matter. But the consequences of this small change will leave lasting ripple effects throughout history. As Jackie Chun begins to walk away, Goku remembers something he wanted to ask the old man as he runs up to him once more. Jackie asks the boy what's on his mind as Goku asks him what does drunk mean. After Jackie gets back up from the ground, he asks Goku why he'd even asked that question in the first place. Goku says, out of all the things he saw him do, the Drunken Fist looked like it would be the most useful. Not only that, it was a move that his grandpa used to know. If he could learn how to move like that, he'd not only get stronger, but it'd also make him feel a bit closer to his grandpa. Jackie Chun is left dumbfounded. He really doesn't want to explain to a child about alcohol and how to get drunk. But he also doesn't want to dismiss the question because this was something that meant a lot to Goku. With sweat beads falling down his face, Jackie Chun nervously describes the drunken fist technique as PG as possible.
Well, you see, it's quite simple. By moving in unpredictable movements and moving your body without thinking, then you can go reach a whole new level of martial arts. Yeah, that's it.
Krillin was rather doubtful of Jackie's claims, but Goku, on the other hand, believed it completely. He was excited, moving without thinking. If his grandpa could do it, then so could he. Goku thanks Jackie Chun one more time for answering his question as he gives him a big smile. Jackie recomposes himself and tells the boys to continue their training before he leaves. After meeting back up with his friends and eating to his heart's content, Goku told them all that he'll be leaving to find the 4-star Dragon Ball. Not only that, he told Krillin and Master Roshi that he'll try to figure out this moving without thinking thing on any fighters he comes across. They sweat a little and laugh nervously as Goku bids his farewells before taking off. During his journey, Goku came across the despicable Red Ribbon Army, who were also after the Dragon Balls. Goku had little trouble taking out General Silver and the many Red Ribbon soldiers in his path, but whenever Goku faced a tough opponent, he would try to use the Drunken Fist to the best of his ability with mixed results. While facing off against the Ninja Murasaki, Goku attempted to move without thinking, which only resulted in the Ninja Star to the back of the head. During his battles against General Blue, Goku tried it again, which only made him an easy target for Blue's telekinesis. Goku even attempted it once more during his fight with the mercenary Tao Pai Pai, but all it led to was a swift kick to the face. Every time, Goku had to change strategies in order to defeat his foes. Even as he was storming through the gates of the Red Ribbon headquarters, Goku was rather upset about this. For the first time in his life, he wasn't able to get a grasp of a martial arts technique. He was able to pick up the Kamehameha, but he wasn't able to move his body differently? What was he doing wrong? Goku continued pondering this as he finished off Officer Black and dismantled the rest of the Red Ribbon Army. When Goku's allies came to lend their help, they were all utterly shocked to see Goku standing on top of the decimated remains of the army's headquarters. Goku told his friends all about his journey, his climb up Korn's tower, and the raid of Muscle Tower. Everyone was surprised to hear of Goku's accomplishments, especially Master Roshi. However, as Goku was talking, he realized that he actually had a question. He went up to his master and told him that he couldn't figure out how to move without thinking. It was something that Jackie Chun and his own grandpa could do, but he couldn't. He wondered if he was doing something wrong. Master Roshi paused for a moment and chuckled. Despite all of his absurd strength, Goku was still a young boy with his own worries and doubts. Roshi looks at the crestfallen Goku as he lightly bonks him on the head with his staff.
Listen here, Goku! Learning how to move on your own without thinking isn't something you can overcome with brute force. It isn't even something that most prodigies can accomplish. A technique as advanced as that can only come through experience. Facing many strong opponents throughout your life will allow your body to get the experience it needs to react on its own. It's a gradual process that slowly comes over time.
Roshi looks at the young boy and realizes that not only is Goku looking back at him and listening intensely, Yamcha and Krillin are also looking at him quite sheepishly. The old master understands that these words coming out of his mouth need to reach through not only Goku, but to these young fighters as well. In fact, Yamcha and Krillin need to hear this more than anyone. They are well aware of the fact that Goku has severely outclassed them in nearly every way, and it's left them feeling dejected and discouraged. Roshi pauses for a moment before he looks at his students. Have I ever told you boys the reason why martial arts exists? It wasn't made to prove your strength to others or pick up girls. It was made out of necessity. Martial arts was created as a way to defend oneself and others against overwhelming threats. Back in my day, when I was a young whippersnapper like yourselves, a terrible evil descended upon the land. Roshi explained that, long ago, a demon and his army of monsters overran the world and plunged it into darkness. No army or machine could compare to the massive power these beasts held. Not even Roshi himself could do much against them at the time. However, his master was not deterred. Despite knowing that he was much weaker than the demon and his monsters, he used his martial arts to fight back against them, and even developed a martial arts technique to seal the demon away. Without his efforts and determination, the world would have fallen into chaos. Always remember that, no matter how powerful your opponent may be, you can overcome the odds through martial arts. Never forget your training. Move well, study well, play well, rest well. That is the turtle way. As long as you follow these principles, there's nothing you can't do. This pep talk seemed to work as Goku, Krillin, and Yamcha appeared to be motivated and moved by these words. Roshi pats himself on the back, thinking to himself that he still knows how to make good speeches. They still need the Dragon Balls to revive Upa's father, who was still killed by mercenary Tao in this timeline. So, after Bulma determines that the radar can't detect the final Dragon Ball, the gang set off to the palace of fortune teller Baba. Goku and his friends compete in Baba's tournament in order to receive a free vision, and the initial battles go as expected. During the final match between Goku and the mysterious masked fighter, Goku takes Master Roshi's words to heart as he tries to strategize and outmaneuver this experienced opponent. He was even able to counter many of his attacks. At one point, Goku attempted to utilize his own version of the Drunken Fist where he would go limp and attempt to dodge the masked man's attack. Unfortunately, the enigmatic fighter was able to anticipate Goku's moves and see through this technique, unveiling his very own Drunken Fist. This bewildered Goku, giving the masked man an opportunity to grab his tail, incapacitating him. Thankfully, Goku's tail came off due to the masked man repeatedly throwing around the boy as he quickly conceded the match. It was then revealed that the masked man was none other than Goku's deceased grandfather, son Gohan. After a tearful reunion, Gohan stated that he was surprised Goku knew the Drunken Fist as he looked at Roshi. With a raised eyebrow, he asks Roshi if he ever gave Goku any alcohol, as Roshi angrily exclaims he did no such thing. Goku, not understanding what they're talking about, tells his grandpa that he plans on fighting stronger guys and learning how to move without thinking so he can be as skilled and strong as him. Gohan chuckles as he pats Goku's head.
Silly boy, you shouldn't strive to be as strong as me. No, you should instead work towards becoming even stronger, faster, smarter. Push through your limits, Goku, and keep training hard. As long as you stick with your friends and train together, there's nothing you can't accomplish.
Goku smiles as he hugs his grandpa one more time. Before Gohan leaves, Goku asks him to train hard too, because he plans to fight him again one day when he's stronger. Gohan smiles as he gives Goku a peace sign, stating that he'll be waiting for him in the other world when that day comes. Goku gives him a peace sign back as Grandpa Gohan returns to the afterlife. Goku uses Baba's vision to locate the final Dragon Ball and, after defeating the Pilaf gang once more, Goku returns to summon Shenron and bring back Upa's father from the dead. With his quests now completed, Goku goes to his friends to tell them his plan to train for the next World Martial Arts Tournament in 3 years' time. At first, he wants to train with Yamcha, Krillin, and Roshi, but Roshi states that he's far exceeded them long ago. Instead, he should travel the world on foot and see the many bizarre lands, fighters, and experiences that life has to offer. Goku nods enthusiastically as he says his goodbyes before running off into the distance. During these 3 years of development, Yamcha begins training under Master Roshi as a new Turtle School student. Thanks to Master Roshi's earlier speech, Yamcha and Krillin are more motivated than ever before to continue their training with their goals set on overcoming their limits and beating Goku. Even Roshi starts to train, realizing that he should follow the example of his students and push beyond his own limits as well. Instead of training in secret, however, Roshi decides that it would be best to train with his students and take a more hands-on approach to teaching this time around, seeking to develop their strengths and overcoming their weaknesses while doing the same for himself. Meanwhile, Goku travels the world and, just as Roshi told him, he encounters many bizarre fighters such as thieves with magical gourds, demons, and even past versions of his own master. Goku had no idea how he got there. One moment he was sleeping in the woods, and the next thing he knew, he was falling headfirst into a hot spring. Goku didn't really think too much about it, using this as an opportunity to learn from Roshi's master on how to tap into a mysterious power known as Spirit's Energy. While in the past, Goku asks the invincible master Mutaito what it takes to move without thinking.
Moving without thinking, eh? That sounds an awful lot like enlightenment to me.
Huh? Enlightenment? What's that? I don't need a light.
I don't mean a literal light. It's a spiritual awakening, according to ancient texts written by the masters of old. By going through extensive physical, spiritual, and mental training, it's possible to awaken yourself. To go beyond your sense of self and become aware of all things. To see the underlying truth of the universe.
Wow, that's a whole lot of words. I don't get it.
Ha! Yeah, I don't get it either. What I got from reading those old scrolls is that we, as martial artists, should strive to continue our training with our minds, bodies, and souls, while making sure we stay healthy. This also means taking care of ourselves in times of turmoil, too. Losing yourself to your emotion or human desires will not only cloud your judgment, but your soul, too. Breaking your connection between the mind, body, and soul can stop you from achieving enlightenment.
Oh, okay. I'll do my best not to do that then. Thanks, old timer.
Take care of yourself, kid.
Once he left the temple, Goku helped his young master to defeat his rival Shed, tapping into Spirit's energy for the very first time. However, when Goku ran through the sea of flames, he blinked as he soon realized he had returned to the same forest he was the day before. Somehow, some way. After returning to the present, Goku eventually settles on a lush, tropical jungle where he decides to live and survive in the wild like he used to. By training his senses to hunt larger, more dangerous and elusive animals, Goku believes he'll be able to enhance these senses which he can then use during battle. Reflecting on his lessons with Roshi, Goku remembers some of the more mundane lessons Roshi taught that he initially wrote off as boring. He recalls Roshi's advice about meditation and how, by becoming more attuned with his spirit and ki, he could unlock a whole new world of martial arts. Goku begins meditating, but it's rather difficult. Not only are there so many sounds and smells in the jungle, large dinosaurs and tigers try to attack him while he's meditating. This goes on for many months as Goku continues meditating while dodging attacks from wild animals. One day, as Goku is meditating on a tree stump, concentrating deeply, he starts to notice something. Despite having his eyes closed, he sees bright flickers of yellow lights around him. Without realizing it, Goku had achieved the ability to sense ki. With this new ability, Goku was able to dodge the incoming attacks of a vicious, saber-toothed tiger. Goku punches the beast as he yells out happily that he finally did it! With this new technique, he'd be one step closer to moving without thinking. Hello everyone! ProfessorChimp here. Thanks for watching. This has been What If Goku Unlocked Ultra Instinct Early, Part 1. This has been a slower paced story compared to some of the others I've written before. I'm going with this slower approach since I think the build-up to achieving Ultra Instinct early needs to not only be believable, but also thematically and narratively fulfilling. I can't wait to go on this journey with y'all and see Goku's development in this story. And to think, he's doing all of this because he didn't know what being drunk was. I'd like to thank a few people directly for helping make this project come to life. Firstly, I want to give a big thanks to I'm Shadow 007 for being the voice of Kid Goku. She's an incredibly talented voice actress who absolutely rocked the role. I highly recommend her for any of your voice acting needs. I'll leave a link to her YouTube channel and social media in the video description. I also want to thank Aryarts for this great artwork of Grandpa Gohan. I've commissioned her a few times in the past, and she's always been incredibly attentive and punctual in her responses. Her artwork is also really good. I can't recommend her enough for any Dragon Ball related art you may need. I'll link her social media in the video description as well. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts about this video, so don't be shy and write them in the comments section down below. If you'd like to support the channel, please like and subscribe, along with clicking the bell so you never miss out on another new story. This has been ProfessorChimp. Stay safe out there, and I hope to see you all next time! Moving without thinking, eh? That sounds an awful lot like Ligma to me.
Huh? What's that?